Live and direct. It's Sway in the morning.
Right here on Shade 45.
When I listen to songs and I go through some of the lyrics, like they tipping the scales for these crackers to win. No reading or writing.
Made a savage of men.
Yeah.
They praying for jail, but I mastered the pen. Descended from kings, we at it again. Just hand me the crown, I'm active again. Okay.
I love y'all. Listen. Pusha T is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yo. Yeah. What up, what up?
You know what? Okay, we just everybody gonna jump in this conversation because number one, I'm happy this album out.
Thank you. Thank you. I am too, man. Okay.
Why are you? Well, it's been so. I can imagine as an artist why you're happy, right?
Yeah, man. You know what? I was going through so much, as far as just putting out this album, and people were like, "Yo, your album should have been out," and so on and so forth. But I personally felt like I had to retune the listener to even get used to hearing me by myself.
Yeah.
I remember my first couple freestyles, 2010. They were just solo, and people was like, "Nah, that ain't it, B."
Right,
like, where Malice at?
Right.
Like I've always been the brash, wordplay side of the clips. There was a conscious side of the clips that people just, they wanted to always hear those two sweet and sour sides together.
Yeah.
And when they didn't hear my brother, it was like, man, they weren't that receptive. So. The time it took for this album to come out, I feel like, man, I've been setting people up for this the whole way through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think now the time is actually right.
Absolutely. And I think not only did you have to tune them into getting used to listening to you solo, but you got to tune the listeners into how to listen to rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had some help, though. I had some help with that.
What do you mean?
I had some help with that this year. And I feel like with the releases of this year, the J. Cole album, the Wale album, the Jay-Z album, the Drake album, Kendrick Lamar. Like I feel like it's a wave going on right now. It's a wave of like getting back to lyric-driven hip-hop and that wave is I gotta say it's helping me.
Yeah, Nostalgia is a song that you and Kendrick teamed up on, and Nostalgia, a lot of people. If you have any critique, it'll probably be the talking about drugs so much. But that's easy. That's anybody can say that.
Whatever. Let's call it nostalgia because it's called nostalgia.
Yeah, okay.
I was wondering about the spelling.
Nostalgia.
I was wondering about the spelling because when I called the label to get it, shout out to your manager too because he sent it to me and I was like, "Yo, it's spelled wrong." He goes, "Nah, Pusha wanted it to spell that
right."
He said he has an explanation for it, so now I know why.
And then Pusha does the nose noise too. Nostalgia. There it is.
Okay, got it. But shout out to all my old cocaine users.
I was gonna say, like that sounds professional.
That's
the streets is out here, man.
So what I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? No, but the people, if you had any critique, it was about the drug commentary, which is something you've done, and but you also what I look for is deeper is when you talk about the perils of the drug and how it affects your neighborhood and how it's affected your life and environment as well. Do you feel like people never hear that message?
Of course they don't, man. People only take it for face value. People like they always talk about, my name is my name. I titled the album that because I said, man, I've been here for over 10 years now. So now you ain't got to listen to Pusha T for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're making a decision to listen to him if you want to hear him. You know what I'm about. My name is Pusha T. You know, my first record ever on Elektra when I got dropped was I Got Caught Dealing at the age of 15.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then it goes to the funeral talking about, you know what I'm saying, my boys who, all the funerals I went to that year. And I was like, man, I'm going to eulogize myself.
Funeral was a dope video.
Then, you know what I'm saying? Then we get into 2002 grinding. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 2002 grinding. You know what I'm saying? When me and my brother were doing, like, it took 9 months for that record to break. 9 months. Like people think that record was just it. And when in all actuality, it took 9 months, and me and my brother doing $3,000 shows all over the country for every dope boy in his neighborhood, all over the country for that whole 9 months. Before finally the world was just like, wait a minute, there's something with this.
Yeah.
The streets is the only people who really embraced us and like even knew what we were talking about. So, you know, people have their issues with my content and so on and so forth, but man, they not listening well enough. The parallels that we draw, you know, to the streets and the parallel we draw to the streets, it's not just gratuitous, oh, you know, 36 O's, you know, such and such and so and so. Man, you get the gospel from us. And I'm talking from me and my brother still, you know, because I just still do that. But right now, even as a soloist, man, like, you know, this is lyric driven hip hop. It's still creative. It's still, you know, it's similes, it's metaphors, it's colors, man. It's not just cocaine.
Yeah.
They gave us that cocaine rap. I ain't never called it that. I ain't call it that when the message was out.
Yeah.
I ain't calling it that now.
You're listening to Sway in the morning
on Shade 45.